Right, good evening, everybody. My name is Craig Ellis, but together with myself and my wife, Elise Ellis over here, we will be your hosts for tonight. And so we want to welcome you to this amazing Platinum Teaching webinar. And later on, we will have a special guest speaker, Dr. Steve Nugent, that will be sharing with us his wisdom and how we can benefit from these amazing products that we've got. And yes, and I also wanted to say thank you very, very much to our mentors, Vincent and Yolandi van der Linde, who's really been walking the walk with us and showing us the directions to go and really helping us to help lots and lots of people with their health, but also lots and lots of people to develop another stream of income as well. And so before I introduce Dr. Steve Nugent, there's some fundamentals that I would like to go through, especially for all the new people. There's an amazing personal development system that goes along with our business, Manatech, and there are amazing audios to listen to. There's the audios you can access via the Lead Team app. So if you haven't done that yet, you can actually subscribe to that. It's an extra 100 Rand per month, but it is life-changing if you listen to the audios over there. We also have a whole bunch of product trainings there by Dr. Steve Nugent, so you can get familiar with these amazing products. And there's much more to it than just that. So some of the audios for this month, the brand new month that started, we have a gold and platinum panel that's done by our gold and platinums, presidential directors, and then we have our journey by our silver presidentials, Francois and Mabel van Skalkwijk. And then we have It's Who You Become by James Conradi, and Are You Serious About Your Future by silver presidential Delena Ferreira. And on top of that, we have an amazing book that is literally life-changing. John Maxwell has made a huge difference in the lives of millions of people worldwide with his leadership principles. And the book this month is The 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication. So get your book. You can also get those either at the training sessions or at you can add it onto your monthly subscription order as well. It is absolutely brilliant. And we also wanted to say well done on the phenomenal turnout at the Super Regionals in Cape Town and in Johannesburg. Just very recently, there was a phenomenal turnout over there. So welcome to all the brand new people that are on this call and to all of them that arrived at the Super Regionals as well, which we are now going to be calling the Success Summit. And so also I want to welcome to all the brand new people that are on this call tonight, whether you are looking at this from a product point of view or if you're looking at it from a development of extra income point of view. There is amazing teaching that's going to be happening here tonight. And then just some of the last things I'm wanting to mention is that there is going to be meetings this week that you can explore, and you can go and have a look at the different products, and you can invite people there to go and have a look at these products and what have they done for other people. On September the 10th, there is a UAE meeting, which is an online meeting. It's an information session. On the 11th, in George, the same thing, but it's in-person meeting. On the 12th, there is an online meeting again where we can actually invite people to have a look at the products or to have a look at the business opportunity. And then on Saturday, the 14th, there is a monthly training in Gauteng as well as the Western Cape. So that's where you can really go in depth to go and have a look at the products again, and also to have a look at how to do this as a business, as a financial asset as well. And then there is also on Saturday another information session in Vryheid. So folks, that's it from the announcements point of view. I'm now going to be handing over to my amazing life partner and business partner, Elise Ellis.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful to be on this call with you tonight, and it's my absolute privilege to introduce to you the main speaker for tonight's webinar, who is none other than Dr. Steve Nugent. So now let me just tell you a little bit about Dr. Nugent. He is the Chief Science and Nutrition Officer and the Chairman of the Global Scientific Advisory Board. So Dr. Nugent has more than 40 years of experience in the area of integrated medicine. He has tested more than 6,000 dietary supplement products and formulated more than 100 by himself on his own. He's also internationally recognized as an expert in his field and has been teaching doctors about nutrition for the last 30 years. So Dr. Nugent is Manatech's most requested speaker worldwide, and tonight you will hear why. He has earned multiple degrees, graduating with top honors at both the undergraduate and the graduate levels. He was also awarded the Servant's Heart Award by Manatech's Associates in 2007. So Dr. Nugent was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. He served his country with honor as a United States Marine, and he has been a resident of Texas for nearly 2 decades. But also, Dr. Nugent is very well loved by Manatech associates from all over the world. And yes, he is definitely well revered by the Manatech South African team for his humanness, for his humility, and for his compassion. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome onto this call the man that does science right, Dr. Steve Nugent.
Thank you so much, Elise. What a wonderful introduction. I do appreciate that very much. And thank you also, Craig, for moderating this meeting this evening as well. We've got a lot to do, folks. You have a new bundle coming up and a new direction coming up for you, which is fabulous, I should say. So we're going to get into those 4 products right now. I'm going to share a screen. Oops, I'm working on a lot of presentations this week, so let's make sure I get the right one. There we go. All righty. Okay. So what is this all about? Let's go backwards here just for a second. I want you to understand that we've got 4 products. So I'm going to be moving very fast, and that means you have to listen fast, if that's possible. But I think you understand what I mean. So we're going to start with Osoline. Now, if you're going to get the fat off your body, you want to do everything you can, because in today's world, it's now more important, it's more difficult to get fat off the body than it has ever been. In fact, I'm in the process of doing some research, and I hope that we'll come up with something good in the future for us here at Manatech. But it seems that the modern diet is very high in things which are ultra-processed. Ultra-processed foods, according to recent studies. By the way, somebody's microphone is open. We need to get that mic closed while we're doing this, since this is being recorded. And these ultra-processed foods appear with this in mind, you need to make sure that you're doing everything you can do, every possible tool you can use to get that body fat off. Well, there are several components of that. One of them, actually a major one of them, is being active and full of energy, and we will get to that. But let's start with the fat loss component. And for some reason, there we go. My slides were not moving. Okay. So I want you to think about Osoline not as a protein powder. Now understand that regulators around the world are very often using information in their regulations which might be decades old. And it's not really their job as regulators to try and keep up with the latest science. This is pretty new science that we're talking about right now with Osoline. So yes, it is taken from protein powder. It is taken from whey protein. But what we're really talking about is a peptide technology. Literally, we take the protein, so just like the picture you're looking at, imagine a block of granite, and from that granite, you will sculpt something truly beautiful. And that's what we've done with Osoline. We've started with whey protein powder, and then we use enzymes to actually sculpt around and grab the peptides we need that we know can help you with weight loss. You might think of it another way too. You might think of a peptide peptides are combinations of amino acids or proteins, okay? Now, you might think of a pearl necklace as the total protein, and then individual pearls on that necklace as the peptides from that protein. So we're not interested in every peptide on the necklace. We're only interested in the peptides that can help you with fat loss. And the key here, folks, is fat loss, not weight loss. I will go over that point numerous times. The whole world's got it wrong, including the entire medical community, and I have proved this in 2 human studies that were published, and so we've got the proof. We know it's not about weight loss, it's about fat loss. That's what you want to be doing, is losing that fat. All right, so imagine that we are sculpting out from the proteins. We are using enzymes to do this sculpting. And by the way, you also end up with a very significant amount of calcium from the whey. Now, there were 2 studies done on this product. The first study was done by the initial manufacturer of the product itself, and they simply called it a peptide powder. So in their study, this is how they published it, peptide versus the control. What you're looking at here, the bars represent the amount of total weight lost and the fat loss versus muscle loss. You see, when you lose weight, your body selectively chooses muscle before fat, because muscle is full of nutrients and fat doesn't have much nutrition in it. Fat is there for energy. In fact, that's its whole purpose, is to be stored energy, calories. So when most people go on a weight loss diet, they typically lose either the same amount of weight as they lose fat. In other words, they've lost the same amount of muscle as fat, or they lose even more muscle than fat. Now, since muscle is much heavier than fat, that gives them extraordinary marketing claims. You know, with our product, you can lose X kilos a week, that kind of thing, right? You've seen all those crazy claims. But it's not about losing kilos of muscle. It's not about losing kilos of weight. It's about losing kilos of fat. So look at the peptide powder on this chart. You can clearly see that the amount of fat loss is about 75% more than the amount of muscle loss. And you will always lose some muscle loss on a diet if you are not giving your body sufficient protein. We'll come back to sufficient protein in a few minutes. So remember, it's about your body composition. And in one of the studies I did, I called it BCI, and another study later on, I decided to call it BCCI. And so these studies both showed, with, by the way, nearly 4,000 human people, right? Almost 4,000 human volunteers. Now that's a very big study. So the statistics are so strong that they are irrefutable. BMI is useless. Out of nearly 4,000 people, there were only 19 whose BMI came somewhere close to the actual amount of fat loss. So BMI is useless. Now, all doctors use it. The World Health Organization uses it. It's pretty hard to swim upstream with a new idea. Trust me, I know. Since I joined Manitech, all I've been doing is coming up with technologies that no one else has, that no one else has ever heard about, that regulators can't figure out. But we want to be cutting edge here at Manitech, don't we? We always want to be cutting edge. So as you're looking at this picture, what you see is kind of the obvious. And, you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words, of course. So you see that you're looking at the exact same amount of fat and muscle, the exact same weight. So you have a kilo of fat mass in yellow and a kilo of muscle mass in red, and you can see that one takes up a lot more space than the other. So as you are losing body fat versus muscle, you are getting thinner, slimmer, you look better, just like this example. These just coincidentally, it just happened this way with nearly 4,000 people. You're going to come up with some pretty good comparisons. It happened that there were 2 men who were the same height and the same weight. They also happen to be from the same genetic group, just coincidentally. But although their BMIs were the same, their bodies were not. One was 5% body fat, the other was 30% body fat. So clearly, BMI is of no value. It means nothing. It's not about how many kilos you lose. It's about how much fat you lose. And as you lose the fat, you will look better, just as you see in this picture. All right, let's go further with this now. We're talking about maintaining muscle mass, not building muscle mass. This is not a bodybuilder's formula. This is to try and help you maintain muscle mass and, of course, have you look better overall. It contains peptides which inhibit angiotensin-converting enzyme. Now, that's a good thing. Please don't waste your time in trying to look it up and understand that on the internet, unless, of course, you're a scientist or a physician. Trust me, you want to inhibit angiotensin-converting enzyme. You want to inhibit it. Glycomacropeptides are there to help you deal with appetite control. Now, when you take this 20 minutes before you eat, this is why the product says, take it 20 minutes before you eat. This is the only benefit you will lose if you don't take it 20 minutes before you eat. It's the only one. But it's an important one. Don't you want to reduce your appetite before you sit down to eat? Of course you do. And that's why you should take it 20 minutes before. The glycomacropeptides help to produce something in a portion of your digestive tract called the duodenum, something called CCK, or cholecystokinin. It appears as CCK on your doctor's test that you get done. And that says to your brain that you're not as hungry as you were 20 minutes ago. So that helps you with appetite control. And calcitrophic hormone regulation is a hormone pathway to help you with fat burn, or lipolysis, as it's called. So leucine, isoleucine, and valine are in the product to help you maintain muscle mass, not to help you build muscle mass. This is not a bodybuilding product. If it was, the leucine, isoleucine, and valine would have to be much, much higher, and it would be a different composition. Now, there are always people who say, oh my gosh, it came from whey protein. That means it had something to do with milk. And oh my gosh, I'm afraid of lactose. Look, if you're lactose intolerant, that's legitimate. Some people are lactose intolerant. That is not an allergy, by the way. Okay, that's simply a lack of enzyme. That's all that is. So if you do have that problem, then you say, well, will this harm me or give me symptoms I don't like? According to World Health Organization, the level at which you have lactose sensitivity reactions is 25 milligrams of lactose per serving. The amount of lactose that is in this product after we've done all of our separations per serving is 0.336 milligrams, 0.336 milligrams, and you need 25 milligrams to have a reaction. So it is highly unlikely that anyone who is lactose sensitive is going to have an issue with this. Let's talk about TruePlenish. All right, this is about healthy body composition once again. You know, I created Manitech's first weight loss system, and of course we have continued since then. The first system was called the Glycoline system, and TruePlenish is the inheritor of the original formula that I made called GlycoSlim. And I also made Catalyst originally for the purpose of supporting fat loss as well as stress control, energy, and a daily multiple vitamin all in one. It's a major product. So in TruePlenish, you have 24 vitamins and minerals and digestive enzymes. That's important because the proteins in this are vegetable proteins. Vegetable proteins are difficult for humans to digest, so we've added digestive enzymes to help you get that accomplished. Along with the protein and the fiber, that makes this product low glycemic, even though it tastes pretty sweet. Low glycemic means it doesn't raise your blood sugar. This is the composition of our fruit and berry blend, which is in the product to give you phytonutrients, or phyto means plant. So nutrients from various fruits and vegetables, similar to if you were taking a fruit and vegetable support phytonutrient support products. You can see all of those. I don't have to read them all. You can see them all. 12 different fruits and vegetables supplying us with phytonutrients. Very, very important to your health. So vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, protein, enzymes. Wow, what a product this is. 20 grams of plant protein, so that makes it friendly for vegans and vegetarians. It is obviously rich in natural vitamins and minerals as well. Now, on the protein side, folks, the older you get, the more protein you need. That's simply a fact of life. So after you've passed the 40-year mark in your life, and according to surveys worldwide, the majority of people who buy supplements and weight loss products are over the age of 40. So that's going to be most people listening right now. All right, so 46 grams of protein minimum for females. Minimum is the operative word. And 56 grams of protein minimum for males to maintain muscle mass. That is to maintain muscle mass, not to build it. Now, you're going to have protein in your diet. You're going to have to adjust your diet properly so that you get enough protein to maintain your muscle mass. Because once again, your body is going to want to consume your muscle before it consumes your fat. That's normal because your body selectively wants to target more nutritious tissue if it's going to digest something. And that's the way it does it. So you're going to need 46 for females, 56 for males minimum. So you're going to have to add more than that. And that is to maintain muscle mass. That is not to build muscle mass. Okay. Osoline contains 10 grams. Yes, I know the scoop says 12.2 grams, but it's 12.2 grams of total materials. 10 of those grams are protein. Okay, so now if you combine that between these two products combined, you now have added 30 grams to your day, but you still need to have enough protein in your daily diet. No artificial sweeteners, colors, or flavors. We like that, always at Manitech. This is a very low calorie, very high nutritional impact product. The amount of nutrition you get for this and the amount of calories that it puts in your body are so incredibly low. This is a massive value for someone who needs to lose body fat. Massive value. In fact, even if you have achieved your body composition goal, the amount of fat you want to get rid of, you got rid of it. You have the body you love. You still want to use this product every day to help you maintain. And this is a great way to do it. So the benefits obviously include help for digestion and looking and feeling better, and also reducing your hunger. But the main thing is fat loss for a leaner, healthier body. It also contains glycans, or what used to be called glyconutrients. And of course, it is gluten and soy free. And TruePlenish has dairy-free ingredients. Now, obviously, if you are a vegan or vegetarian, you're probably not going to want to use the Osoline. That's okay. You will make your own choice on that. You are taking in peptides, okay? But the TruePlenish is good for all philosophies, okay? And just a reminder, your goal is to lose fat, not weight. Fat, not weight. And I don't care what your BMI is. It's irrelevant, and I've proven that in 2 scientific studies. Well, in order for you to do this, you're also going to need to have energy, right? How often, in fact, if I had, well, with today's inflation rate, if I had $5 for every person who ever said to me, I don't have enough energy to go on a weight loss program, okay, I could probably retire. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Now, I want everyone to understand this. I said this earlier, and I'm just going to reinforce this. Body fat stores energy calories. That's its purpose. Now, as the human race has moved forward from the beginning to where it is today, we have had a lot of genetic adaptations. Well, one of our genetic adaptations was to store fat from food because our ancestors were hunter-gatherers, and our ancestors might sometimes have to go a day or two or three or maybe more without finding food. So in order to survive, those people who were genetically adapted to store fat effectively from what they ate, they survived. Well, we don't need that anymore. In fact, food is too easy to get, way too easy to get. There's far too much of it. Most people eat servings that are much too big, but we still have that genetic mechanism in us. So you need to have a way to turn that fat into energy. Because if you say to me, if you come to me and you look like one of those diagrams I just showed you a moment ago of the couch potato who had 30% body fat, that's the person who's going to say, I don't have enough energy to have activity and exercise, and I just don't have the energy. Yes, you do. If you've got 30% body fat, you've got a huge amount of stored energy hanging on your body. That's what it's for. So what you need to do is to help your body convert that energy or that fat into energy. That's the way it works, folks. And it's so cool if you do it the right way. I love Impact. The original Impact, which was designed back in 1995, fabulous product. Love that product. That product is now available only in South Africa and Namibia. What a shame that the rest of the world doesn't have this great product. Now, this product was modified once to make it suitable for athletes, governing bodies for competitive athletes. So it was modified once from its original form. But this is a great, every time I come to South Africa and my friend Darren gives me a tub of Impact, it's like, oh, Darren, I love you for giving me this, because the energy it gives me is phenomenal. This product not only provides you with medium chain triglycerides, which convert easily by the body into energy, but it contains other factors that help you with oxygen utilization. And folks, the way you convert stored body fat into energy is through oxygen. So this is amazing stuff. This product is amazing. Now, it is recommended that you take this 20 minutes before you exercise, and you're taking your Osoline 20 minutes before you eat. Don't forget that. But 20 minutes before you exercise is ideal. Give it time for those MCTs, those medium chain triglycerides, to get into your system, to break down, to get into your bloodstream. Give it time for that to work for maximum results with this. But you talk about converting oxygen during exercise. We have human studies to show exactly how this works and that it does work. Amazing stuff. So these medium chain triglycerides are great. There are also electrolytes in there to help you stay hydrated as you're exercising, or let me use the word activity, because many people don't want to exercise. They see exercise as drudgery or painful or whatever. So think about it as activity. Swimming, walking, riding a bicycle, playing tennis, bowling, whatever your physical activity is, but be active. Active. That is important. We know from our studies that the cardiorespiratory fitness and aerobic performance improves. Now, we tested this product, I should say, we tested this with college athletes. So we know what we're looking at here. We know that this product increases something called VO2 max. Now, what that means in plain language, that is the maximum oxygen utilization per any period of time when you are exerting yourself. You want to have the most efficient oxygen utilization. What you don't want to do is you don't want your body to start to pull sugar out of your muscles, which it will do. If you do not have effective oxygen utilization and you are now active, your body will start to pull sugar from your muscles. Your muscles need sugar to work. when it's pulled everything out of your muscles start to hurt. They ache. And all athletes know about this. They've all heard about it before. They've felt it. They know it. Then it starts to pull sugar out of your liver because you store sugar in your liver as well. That is not the way to lose body fat, folks. You have to have your energy conversion going through oxygen. As you do this through maximum oxygen utilization, or VO2 max, this makes your physical activity more efficient. It gives you more lasting energy and stamina. Whenever I'm going to do a 4-hour product training, and unfortunately I'm not 40 years old anymore. In fact, this is my 47th year of doing this in the area of nutrition since I started in my career. That's unbelievable when I think about it. Just that number staggers me. So I'm not 40 years old anymore. If I do a 4-hour product now, 4-hour product training, which takes a lot of energy, because I put a lot of energy into my lectures. All of you who've watched me lecture, you know that. And it takes a lot of energy. Your brain burns up a lot of energy as you're thinking, as you're talking. And so, man, I love Impact. It gets me through those long trainings. And I love the product. We also found that we had athletes who they actually had some amount of fat conversion, fat burn, while they were doing nothing, just sitting there. Now, that amount of fat burn, realistically, was very small. But the point is, even with no activity, there was some fat calorie burning with the athletes. That's pretty amazing when you think about it. And as I mentioned, we have modified this product once so that it would be acceptable by governing bodies of competitive athletics. Every time I present on Impact, I always have somebody from South Africa that emails me, is this acceptable by governing bodies for competitive athletics? Yes. Okay. Now let's go through some of the ingredients very quickly as our clock ticks forward here. Choline. Choline is so important for your body. It's so important for nerves and muscle function. It is so important for your liver, especially liver health. But choline is key when you want to convert fat. It's very, very important. So we made sure that choline was in this. By the way, you also find choline in Catalyst. Citric acid is added for a couple of reasons, flavoring primarily in this product. It also does adjust pH to some extent, but its primary purpose is flavoring. And we take our citric acid from lemons and from pineapples. So so for those people who say, "Oh my gosh, citric acid, that sounds awful." No, it's just from lemons and pineapples. Nothing to worry about there. Now, we also use fructose as the sweetener. And, we have discovered a very long time ago, and I knew this even before I started with Manitech 30 years ago, that, most products, if they're in a powder form or in a drink form or some form other than a tablet or a capsule, if it doesn't taste good, you can't get people to do it twice. So we had to we didn't want to use any artificial sweeteners. We are totally opposed to that. So we thought, okay, fructose occurs naturally in honey. It occurs naturally in various fruits. We're going to use fructose for this purpose. So that's the sweetening agent in this product. Medium chain triglycerides, which I talked about briefly a few minutes ago, or MCTs. Athletes, talk to any athlete, especially endurance athletes who need to keep going for a half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. They're looking for something to help sustain their energy, keep up their stamina. MCTs are beautiful for that. They're great for that. And we draw our MCTs either from coconut oil or from palm kernel oils. So the MCTs have another benefit for us. Now, I don't want to get deep into how you make formulations and how you get ingredients to bond together and separate. We don't have time for all that. But In every product you make, whether you make a powder, in fact, really, especially if you make a powder or a capsule, you're going to need some fillers to keep everything together, to get it to all sort of mesh together and stabilize. You're going to need some sort of, in the industry, they call it lubricants, and that sounds like an oil, but it's not necessarily an oil all the time. But you need some kind of lubricants which act as flow agents in capsules and in powders, but also stabilize the mixture. So when you get, X amount of this ingredient, X amount of that ingredient, you want them to be together and you want them to stay stable so that every serving is going to be the same mixture of ingredients. And MCTs, besides being great for energy, they're a great lubricating agent as well. They're a great agent for stabilizing things. Calcium citrate is in this as well, and you will find that this is there to help you with your electrolyte balance. Very, very important. And also magnesium aspartate. Now, every time I say magnesium aspartate, somebody in a live audience has a question, oh my God, is that aspartame? Or I'll get emails, okay? So you'll see on the slide, very clearly, very bold letters, aspartic acid is not aspartame. Chemistry is pretty complicated, folks, and there are a lot of things that share common names, and when you combine item A to item B, you get one effect. When you combine item A to item C, you get a different effect and a different end product. Again, I can't get into all the complexities of that, but magnesium aspartate is there as an electrolyte to help you stay hydrated, these two minerals to help you stay hydrated, and it is not aspartic. I should say it is not aspartame, okay? All right, let's get to catalyst. Catalyst, I'm going to sound like a broken record. This is also one of my favorite formulas. And as you know, I created this formula in its first version. We now have the fourth version that you folks are looking at in South Africa and Namibia. And this product in its new version, new improvement, is just amazing. It is Manitech's most comprehensive foundational vitamin mineral formula, but it's a lot more than that. I want you to look at some of the benefits on this product. Immune system support, heart support, antioxidant, fat loss support. Remember, that was my original purpose in designing this product. Healthy energy levels, mood support. I'll go over that in more detail in a moment. Liver, kidney, and nervous system support. Support for healthy blood sugar. Now, if you're going to lose body fat, you must support your blood sugar. If your blood sugar spikes and drops, you're not going to be successful losing body fat. You might lose muscle mass, but you're not going to lose body fat. Your blood sugar must be stable or you won't lose body fat. It's that simple. So it's really, really important to use Catalyst with your fat loss program. Also, there are nutrients in there that support healthy skin and eyes and healthy gums and healthy joints. And I mean, this is an amazing, really an amazing product. 30 vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients. I usually don't spend time on this, but I just need to tell you, there is also a phytonutrient complex inside of this product. Yes, a blend of phytonutrients from a long list of fruits and vegetables. Those phytonutrients. So it's just a hugely complete product. When I named this product Catalyst back in 1999, I should have called it Powerhouse, because that's really what it is. It's a powerhouse of nutritional support for so many areas of your health. Take a look at this, folks. Now, the DB is a U.S. standard of the percentage of a nutrient that a person needs every day to be healthy. So I'm not sure if that standard is used in South Africa, but it's definitely used in the U.S. So these numbers are based on the U.S. DB. However, people in South Africa and people in the U.S. they're still humans. In fact, genetically, the variation between races within the human race is 0.01%. Humans are humans, okay? And there's genetically, that's just a fact. So I want you to look at this, folks. More than 100% of the DV of that long list of nutrients, the antioxidant nutrients, A, C, and E. There's vitamin B1. In fact, look at the B complex vitamins there. More than 100% of each of them. You talk about energy. You talk about metabolism. You talk about feeling great psychologically and more, dealing with stress. It's huge, okay? Zinc, which is for immune support, and selenium as well. All of these nutrients in huge amounts. And let's just look at the B complex for a moment. 500% of the DV of B1. 500% of the requirement. Now, these B vitamins are water soluble. So if your body can't use them during a given 4 to 6 hour period, they will rinse out in your urine, okay? If someone has a diet very high in B2, and there are some people who do have diets where they eat foods very high in B2, they may take Catalyst and their urine might turn very yellow or sort of fluorescent. And then some people say, I didn't absorb anything. No, you absorbed everything just fine. It's just that you had more B2 than you needed during that 4 to 6 hour period. That won't happen with most people, but it will happen with some people. So if that does happen, now you know why, okay? 280% of the DV of B9. B9 is folic acid or folate. That's vitamin B9. Folate is a natural form. Folic acid is a synthetic form. 1,000% of the DV of B12. Talk about energy, folks, and feeling great psychologically. Studies showing B1, B9, B12 as being the single most important nutrients to make you feel happy. I call B1 the happiness vitamin. That's what our legal department doesn't call it that, but that's what I call it, okay? And what about vitamin C? You know, I often have people say, well, I think I should take extra vitamin C. Yeah, I do too. I think you should take Catalyst every day because it gives you 440% of your minimum daily requirement of vitamin C. That's huge. Catalyst is a powerhouse. No question about it. So B1, B9, that is folic acid or folate, depending which form you're looking at. I will say folate in the natural form. So B1, B9, B12, all support your energy. You have to have energy in order to be active so that you can actually begin to convert stored body fat into energy, which is the purpose of having body fat to begin with. It's the only purpose. So if you're looking at a lot of stored body fat, you're looking at a lot of stored energy that needs to be converted. And this is why you combine Impact and Catalyst together for the energy and the metabolism component. Man, you are really looking at something powerful in terms of your energy. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to around the world where they're saying to me, well, you know, my energy is pretty low. You have something that can help me? And right away, I say, take Catalyst. And if you're in South Africa and Namibia, I say, well, use Catalyst and Impact. But remember, you're the only country with Impact, okay? So, but I tell them, take Catalyst. And then their energy gets better, but their sense of well-being improves and they feel gradually happier. I mean, if your mood is down, if your mood is low, if you're not feeling happy, you want to increase your B1, your B9, your B12. In fact, this is worth going backwards here on the presentation. I'm going to go backwards one again. Look at these numbers. 280% of your requirement for folate. 1,000% of your requirement for B12, 500% of your requirement for B1. And B1 is the happiness vitamin. But in the studies I talked about, combining B1, B9, B12, those three B vitamins together did more to improve mood, to lift that mood up, than even a pharmaceutical drug in the same study. So you want to have a lot of B1, B9, B12, especially if your mood is low or if you need energy. There's another reason to have these numbers very high. That is stress. When you are under physical and particularly psychological stress, oh man, the more stress you are under psychologically, the more B1, B9, B12, and vitamin C you burn up. So when I made this product originally, I was looking at this as a fat loss support product for the original glycoline system, which today is the TruePlenish system, or the True Health system, I should say. And I was also looking at it for blood sugar control, which you need B vitamins and chromium and molybdenum. They're all there in the right amounts. But you also need stress control, because a lot of people eat because of stress. Their appetite increases because of stress. And when you're going through any kind of a diet, you are sort of by definition depriving yourself of things that you know you shouldn't be eating, right? Like, you shouldn't sit down and eat several pieces of chocolate cake. You know you shouldn't do that. But when you do it, it feels good. It tastes good. It's comfort food. You've all heard that expression, comfort food. So people under extreme psychological stress, especially if their mood is very low, if they're feeling really unhappy and they're feeling deprived and they're feeling like they're missing something, you really want to raise up that B1, B9, B12, and C. You really want to get it up there. That's why I made the numbers so high in this product. It makes a difference. Now, a lot of people will say, especially if their energy levels are kind of on the border but not extremely low, and their mood may be on the border but not extremely low, they might say, well, I'm not sure if I really got a big change with this, until they run out and they're waiting for their new product to arrive. And then they say, wow, Catalyst really did make a difference in my life. Wow. Okay. So just so you know that, again, these B vitamins, vitamin C and zinc, all that for stress as well. I want you to look at this a different way, because learning psychologists have found that your learning and retention may be increased as much as 20% by showing graphs like this. So let's show you some graphs, all right? What you want to look at here is the amount of each of these nutrients found in our product called Nutriveris, our product called Phytomatrix, and our product called Catalyst. It's very, very, very clear that the amount of each of these nutrients in Catalyst is far greater than it is in Nutriveris or Phytomatrix. But people will decide to buy their vitamin mineral product for various reasons. It could be price. It could be personal philosophy in the case of Phytomatrix or Nutriveris. It could be, powder versus tablet. Who knows why they make their decisions. As the Chief Science and Health Officer at Manitech, my first concern, my most powerful concern, is your health. I want you to put in your body the best nutrition you can have. If you are under stress, and almost everyone is, if you are starting a fat loss program, you want to have the highest levels. So I want you to see that. Catalyst, that's represented by the blue bar, clearly the highest of the levels of each of these. So Nutriveris, you see there in a sort of burnt orange color, Phytomatrix in green, and Catalyst in blue. Let's do another one. Here are antioxidant vitamins. Now you take a look at the amount of vitamin C, the amount of vitamin E and obviously A are very important. But I want you to look at the amount of vitamin C. How much vitamin C do you get in Nutriverse and in Phytomatrix per serving versus the amount of vitamin C in Catalyst per serving? If you know that you need vitamin C, you go for it because Catalyst is it. What about minerals? I'm not going to go, we don't have time to go through every mineral on the chart. But take a look, folks. The amount of each mineral, again, the burnt orange, Nutriverse, the green is Phytomatrix, the Catalyst is in blue. Look at the magnesium on each and the calcium on each. I want you to understand that if you take calcium without sufficient levels of magnesium, your body cannot process that calcium. So some people might say, well, you know, the amount of, let's say, as an example, the amount of calcium in Phytomatrix. But then you look at the amount of magnesium, you realize you can't process that amount of calcium effectively. In order to process 255 milligrams of calcium and actually get it into your bones and into your muscles, you're going to need approximately 128 milligrams of magnesium. How much magnesium is in that product? 5. So you're really not going to be able to process that. Now, I don't have numbers for every country in the world. I wish I had time to do that, and I wish that every government in the world actually provided those statistics. But there's a lot of governments that don't provide the statistics that we need. So I'm going to go with U.S. statistics because the U.S. government spends hundreds of billions of dollars annually, U.S. dollars, on scientific study and doing the statistics. Now, among the U.S. population, 48% of U.S. citizens are deficient in magnesium. 48%. You cannot process calcium without magnesium. It can't be done. So you might say, well, I've got all this extra calcium that I'm taking. That's great. That's good. That's healthy. But you have to have enough magnesium to process it. Are you eating enough magnesium in your diet? Well, in the U.S., 48% of people are not. And is that number going to translate into South Africa? Probably, because the U.S. is unique in one way, and that is literally, according to the U.S. Census, literally every single genetic group on planet Earth is represented in the U.S. population. So when we say U.S. population, all genetic groups, 48%, it probably is pretty darn similar in South Africa and Namibia, okay? Probably pretty darn similar. So if you want to do this program, which, Darren, this is so clever. I love this. Flabulous. I love that. If you want to have a flabulous product and actually get rid of all that body fat that you've been wanting to get rid of, this is the program you should be following. This is the bundle you should be using. Fat loss, oxygen utilization, energy, metabolism, blood sugar balance. The list goes on. Folks, this is the bundle you want. Get started on it. Train everybody in your downlines on this as early as you can and get that flab off your body. I'm going to turn this back over to Greg right now. To Greg, I'm sorry. There we go.
Thank you, Dr. Steve. That was absolutely amazing, as always. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you have no excuse whatsoever to become flabulous. You've got the bundle, you've got the know-how, you've got all the information that Dr. Steve provided. Make sure you listen to this again. Make sure that you get all the information that was provided, and let's just get flabulous.
Well, that's it from us tonight, folks, and we will be back next week at the same time, at the same place. And for tonight's QR code, it is 4069 for those of you who missed it. And please, folks, for those of you who are brand new and you're looking at this for the very first time, please do go back to the person that invited you so that you can understand a little bit more about how to do this and how to utilize this information for yourself inside your bodies and to help other people as well. And thank you very much again, Dr. Steve Nugent, for that phenomenal explanation on the products, if done in a phenomenal way, so that we can have a phenomenal life and a phenomenal week ahead. So that's it from us, folks. We see you next week, and we'll see you around. Keep well, and God bless.
Good night.
Good night, folks.